In this lesson, we'll be looking at how to resolve user, file saver, and performance problems with a local area network or a LAN. Um, there are three main network problems that we have in today's type of connections. For example, the first problems will be users will be complaining that the internet is too low, which I think is very popular in South Africa. The most common network problem that IT managers actually receive is actually about network being too slow, and users normally do not have much patience to wait for the network to respond. So how then do you give a solution? First, you diagnose the problem with the real-time monitoring to really see, is the network really slow, or people are just expecting too much from the network. Uh, one of these monitoring software that you could actually use is one called Exzinder, and you take a look and really realize what are the available devices that are actually using your network, and you'll be able even to pinpoint to say this one is overusing the network, or this one should not even be on the network, and so forth. And that can really give you a, a solution. You can even sort out and find out which program or which app is using the most amount of bandwidth. Being the the speed at which your network can operate. So which one is actually using a lot of that bandwidth, therefore slowing down others. Once you know, you can now put policies either by just giving people warnings, or literally by programming it into the software or into the computer that this software should not be able to use an amount of bandwidth above a certain amount. That would then sort out your slow network problem that the users would be complaining about. Another one is that one user is consuming too many resources. So every network has that one user that consumes more than their fair share of bandwidth, and often they are draining network resources by doing something that's not critical to the line of business, like streaming the latest viral video or perusing their Instagram feed. So if bandwidth hogs aren't contained, meaning if these people like that are wasting your bandwidth are not contained, they can cause some serious issues to the rest of the users on the network. So how do we solve that? We actually then put a policy at user level to say certain IP addresses, for example, can actually be blocked. So you can actually block all social media sites to make sure that the users, even if they wanted to use social media, they will not be able to reach it. And you can even make sure that you put what are called optimizer policies to make sure that people, even if you have those particular sites being available, they are only maybe available during lunch hour, or they are only available only for certain speeds, so they will not be able to waste your particular bandwidth. Then the other problem is streaming of video is choking my network. So Netflix, YouTube, and other streaming media sources are forces to be reckoned with. Not a day goes by that a support team doesn't have a field call from the IT manager who needs to limit the negative impact of these streaming platforms on the network performance. So troubleshooting the streaming media can be a bit trickier than it sounds. Many computers now use YouTube as a marketing platform, so blocking access to it altogether is not an acceptable solution. So then what do you then do? You then create policies by user group. By setting up a policy literally means a set of rules on how to behave, literally. A policy at the user group level, you can allow members of your company's marketing department to upload to YouTube as needed, but restrict the rest of the company from watching things they shouldn't be watching on YouTube, because sometimes we can't do without these social media platforms. So we can't really just ban them altogether. Sometimes we actually need to just restrict the use of those particular platforms.